Hi everyone, it's Natalie here. So we're continuing our exploration of the Sigilla Medievalia, which is by Juliane Victoria. And now we are going to look at the court cards. So the traditional courts are not the way that she's quite working with the deck at this point. This time we're getting, just the number, which I actually find really helpful. It changes, I don't know, it makes me want to associate it more with the rest of the deck and to think of the deck in terms of septenaries. It just makes it easier for me on some level. When I'm thinking like first septenary, second septenary, etc. as a journey, and third septenary, when we get them repeated again in the suits with like 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, that makes sense to me somehow. There's a logic to it that I find helpful. So here we have the 11 of fire, or the page of fire, and something from this alphabet of the Magi. And it's containing this element, or working with this element. And then we've got the 11 of cups, or the 11 of water. And there's our water, and I don't know what these runes mean, but these are obviously very significant, alphabetic references, so it would behoove me to really know what I'm looking at here. Same again, right? Very significant. So here we have more angelic alphabet in our page of air, or 11 of air. And 11 is such a significant number. There's 2 of these and 2 of these, and I don't know, probably 2 of these, plus the element. And this was part of my daily draw, I guess, yesterday. It was the page of, or the 11 of Pentacles. 11 of Earth. So we've got we've got 2 different Om letters, and our symbol for Earth. So yeah, we've got, it looks like 2 symbols from each to give us that double for the 11. And then the elemental designation for each one. So there's our pages, or 11s. I have no fingernails hardly at all at this point because of throwing pottery. Okay, and then let us look at the knights, who are the 12s. And I have to say, I'm finding these knights to be pretty interesting. I do feel like for this one, let's see, I didn't quite feel it as strongly with the pages, but I remembered that by the time we got to the knights and the queen, I was starting to get the sense of like, oh, look how interesting, upside down man for the hangman. And then we've got this 12 association here for all of the knights. Very complex. Almost have an arrow, a shield and an arrow here, moving a lot of energy, a lot of force, a lot of stuff, right, in the direction of upward and onward and upward there. So it's our Knight of Wands, or 12 of Wands. Okay, then we have our, oh, I love this one. This is our 12 of water. with this runic symbol here, and you know, in the Pisces, it's, you know, right in the heart, right in the heart. Dreamy, romantic. Yeah, that's our 12 of water, or Knight of Cups. And then we have our 12 of air. Or the Knight of Air. Not quite sure this, I just don't understand this one yet. Yeah, that one's going to take some time. Of the Knights, the one that really struck me with it, you know, intuitively was this one, was the Knight of Cups. And then of course we've got our oh okay, this one just landed. So I don't know the OM alphabet, but you know, the Knight of Cups is kind of like the more conservative of the three. And we're getting this, like, you know, he's like counting his stuff on his abacus, and it's a, you know, it's a Virgo. And I don't know, where I've seen like people, you know, math people and science people who are Virgos, they're a very different kind of you know, mathematician or scientist than a lot of others. They're, the anal retentiveness and the, like, I'm going to get this precise, you know, is very, very prevalent. My dad is a Virgo, and he's a mathematician. And when he gets into this mode, it just, I recognize it right away. Yeah, so everything will deepen it. This one has just made a little bit more sense because sometimes for me, this, you know, I almost called it the nerd of swords. The nerd of swords. Yeah, I just started to see the, like, the Gemini and the thinking. Yeah, the complexity of, like, structures and ideas, and yeah. I don't know, these two, like, if these were conducting electricity across them, I don't know, something about this reminds me of electricity and air all of a sudden, because of thinking about, you know, this is how they work. This is not a fast deck. This is a deck that is really intended to be contemplated. So, yeah, you start to see. And that, you know, I'm starting to see more here too. So this, you know, there's a lot, but there's like square thinking. When people have, like, I don't know, when people's ideas of what needs to be structured in, you know, a certain way, it has to go like this, gets challenged, we become aggressive. You know, there's often some raw aggression that comes out of that leads to, well, I have to do something about it. Interesting. Whereas, like, you know, getting caught here, you know, where this one has to go out and do something. This one has to focus and ground down and do something. This one is going upwards to do something in its head. And this one's like, oh, my heart is doing something. You know, there's this, like, focus inward. You know, it's not so much the outward doing of something, but something major's going on inside. Wow. See, people, look at that. Holy cow. All of that stuff there just in one. Wow. This is getting me super geeked to want to read other people with these as well. Okay, so 13. I would never have associated the queens with death until this deck. Even though, like, intellectually, I know that there is an association there. I just tend not to associate the queens with death. But this is the death card, by the way. I just pulled that guy out for fun, for shits and giggles. Because that's what death is all about, right? You have to laugh at it. Anyway. But, you know, I started to think about that in relationship to the queens and darker goddesses and women and the way women participate in this in the process of death. I'm doing a lot of doula work at the moment, more than I have been, having to really go, oh crap, look at all of these areas that I need to really get more information and knowledge about. So yeah. So here we have our Queen of Wands. And I didn't see this yesterday, but today what I'm seeing here is like a crank that turns and tightens a screw. So interesting. And obviously we have Aries. And I don't know what this symbol is. It's something, and these are something to do with this alphabet of the Magi. I'm sure of it. We'll see as if I'm looking as if something opens up. This Queen of, or 13 of water, or cups. Oh, I just saw the runes. Oh, how funny, look. Oh. Huh. I mean, I'm definitely seeing a heart center. And I mean, this one I'm definitely seeing compassion and softness. In something that otherwise feels maybe kind of inaccessible or kind of closed. You know, the RWS Queen of Cups and the Marseille Queen of Cups often have like a closed vessel. So I'm kind of seeing the harder edges of that closed vessel, but with total warmth and heart growing on the inside of it in a very Cancerian fashion, I guess. Ooh, yeah, this is, okay, I gotta share this. So when I was looking at this one last night, you know, with that strong X, and then this kind of, you know, the arch of the Libra with this on the side, what I was seeing was like, oh yeah, cross me and I'll cut a bitch, is what I was seeing in this one. Which I'm sure is not exactly the intention there, but I mean, this is sharp. It's definitely the Queen of Swords, you know, or the Queen of Air. It's very sharp, but you know that Libra there is about balance. You know, so there's balance in this, but there's also the like, and if you, I mean, I don't know what this symbol is, but you know, if you screw with me, I will mess you up. It'll happen, you know. Otherwise, we'll stay heart-centered, fair, rational, reasonable. It's powerful, man. Real powerful. Wow. And then, of course, we have our Queen of Pentacles, which, again, you know, because of this symbol, I need to be aware of, like, the association that I make with it because of the Devil card, which doesn't mean anything necessarily. Like I said, the two can cross-pollinate and deepen in terms of understanding. And again, having these OMs to add to this symbol is going to help me. Yeah, so there we have our 13s, our queens of the different suits and elements. Okay. And finally, we've got the Kings. And I will be the first to tell you I'm a little bit lost on this one. A lot of alphabetic references that I don't understand. I do see the Saturn here, although it's not, you know, the little cross doesn't come up above there. And I see a Leo. Oh yeah, and it's, okay, so the Kings would then, you know, be associated with temperance and the stability of temperance, the alchemy of temperance. So, okay, we're going to leave that to one side for a moment. And here we have some runic. Very powerful. This definitely feels like the King of Cups to me. You know, on a very intuitive level, of course. Like a heightened, intelligent, wise Scorpio that's become more like the eagle than the scorpion, you know? Very benevolent, gentle, deeply, profoundly insightful leader. Yeah. And this one definitely, for whatever reason, definitely feels like the King of Air or Swords to me, because I don't know what any of this means, but it feels complicated. It feels like high intelligence happening here, and the Aquarius, you know. And of course reminds me of the Star card, which would be, yeah, I guess it's this one. Here's our star. But yeah, intellect at its highest level. And yeah, the King of Pentacles here with the Taurus. The King of Pents always feels like Taurus to me. Like the best aspected parts of Taurus. Some of the worst, I guess, too, but really more of the best ones. And he's got it all inside. It's all contained within him. Makes him benevolent, makes him generous. Yeah, so I guess, I mean, you know, intellectually, you can intellectualize things and understand them on a certain level to a certain degree, and then turning them into something that's integrated and useful as a working knowledge becomes something completely different. So while I've already, you know, as I said, I know to associate already the, you know, Temperance card with the Kings because of the number 14. It's an interesting, I don't know, I'm feeling it at a different level. That's the best way to put it. You know, the idea that these four individuals are ones who have been through an alchemical process that has changed them has just become very significant as a result of this deck and this exercise. So that's it. This is the Sigilla Medievalia, or the Medieval Sigils Tarot. And yeah, that's it with the court cards. So thank you so much for watching. I will definitely be doing some readings with this deck in the near future, and continuing to work with it and show the work that I'm doing with it. So yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, and especially thank you so much, Julianne, for this opportunity. I really, really appreciate it, and I am learning so much as a result of having this deck. It's incredible. So thanks again, everybody. See you soon. Bye.